I think we just witnessed the best game of 2024 as the LA Rams come up on top over the Buffalo Bills, 44-42. There's a lot of things to unpack with this game, but first of all, this game is absolutely huge for the Rams. This puts them back in the race for the NFC West. I thought after this game, if the Bills had won, and with the Seahawks winning, them being 2 games back would be really hard to overcome. But now they're only 1 game back of the Seahawks, and they have a head-to-head matchup with the Seahawks in Week 18, the final week of the season, to potentially go out and win the division. So I'm not exactly sure what the math and statistics are on this, but as far as I know, if the Rams win out, a very winnable schedule, 49ers, Jets, Cardinals, and Seahawks for their next 4 games. If they're able to win out, I think they do end up winning the NFC West. But this game was just filled with fantastic play after fantastic play. I think the big difference in this game ended up being that block punt return for touchdown. At the end of the day, the offenses were so even, just trading touchdowns back and forth all the way to the end of the game. But that Rams offense was so efficient, especially near the end of the game. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, 100% the best wide receiver duo in the NFL. They both came up absolutely massive, especially Puka Nacua. The 2 touchdowns along with all the incredible plays. He had at least 2 or 3 catches today where it was like, yeah, this guy might be the best receiver in the NFL. And I don't think that's an understatement at all. As for the Bills offense, Khalil Shakir was fantastic. Of course, Josh Allen was incredible. First player in NFL history with 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns. But as for the Bills over the next few games, I'm recording this right now, right before Sunday Night Football, so we'll see how the Chiefs do in that one. Of course, the Bills already have this division wrapped up pretty much. So at this point, all they're fighting for is the number 1 seed. It looks like they're also pretty safely secured of the number 2 or 3 seed, depending on how the Steelers do as well. But the Bills, having that win over the Chiefs was huge, but not winning out starting this week, Week 14, taking an L here, was absolutely big for them, especially in the race to try to secure the 1 seed. Taking a look at the stats, neither of these teams had a single turnover. The only real noticeable difference between both of these offenses was the time of possession. The Bills went downfield and scored really fast, whereas the Rams had more of a rushing attack and really just tired out this Bills defense. And by the end of the game, this offense for the Rams had their way. The Bills offense did also have their way. Just a complete shootout between 2 incredible teams. But focusing on this Rams team one more time, in the NFC, this Rams team is a real threat in my opinion. There's still a lot of work to do, even in the regular season. They still have to get that division title because making it in as a wild card in the NFC right now looks very difficult. 2 of either the Lions, Packers, or Vikings will be 2 of the wild card spots. And then that last wild card spot, that's the one the teams are fighting for. But even still, it's going to be hard for any team to grab that. And I think the easiest way for the Rams to make the playoffs is obviously to win the division, which is a clear path ahead of them. But going into the playoffs, the NFC should be scared. The Lions, of course, they're incredible. They're the team to beat in the NFC right now, along with the Eagles. I think today, if the Rams played the Eagles, the Rams would probably come up on top. That offense is just so much more high-powered, so many more playmakers on this Rams offense, with especially at the wide receiver position with Nacua and Kupp. Of course, Saquon's great for the Eagles, but if those 2 teams played right now, I think the Rams would win. If the Rams played the Vikings, I think that would be a win for the Rams. Matthew Stafford versus Sam Darnold, I'm obviously going to be taking Matthew Stafford. Yes, the Vikings team's well-rounded. The Vikings have a 2-headed monster receiver of their own with Jefferson and Addison. But this Rams offense is at another level right now, especially in this game right here. Now, don't get me wrong, this is kind of an outlier. The offensive line for the Rams this year has been not very good at all. Nacua and Kupp staying healthy has been a problem for them. But I think they're starting to put together late in the season, and we'll have to see if this team can make a push for the playoffs. If they do get in the playoffs, I think the one team that right now I still have over the Rams in the NFC is the Detroit Lions, just because of how well-rounded they are. Of course, have just as many playmakers on offense, and even better running back with Jahmyr Gibbs, and the 2-headed monster with David Montgomery as well. But even then, I still think the Rams have a shot. Honestly, this NFC playoff race is going to be super interesting. Early in the year, I thought it was the Lions to lose, but it still probably is the Lions NFC to lose, but there's a lot more contenders, man, especially with that Vikings offense early in the day with that huge win over the Falcons. Just a lot of great offenses, man. And if any of these teams are able to put together a full 4 quarters against the Lions, you never know what can happen. As for the Bills, nothing to be afraid of course. The offense was still incredible. A couple things to tighten up on defense. They're not able to play man coverage. Only a couple guys that can really do that in the secondary. And when they play great receivers like the Rams, they're going to get exposed. But that's going to do it for this video. We're going to go back, watch Sunday Night Football, see what the implications of that are on the playoff bracket, and see what that has to do with the Bills potentially having a chance to get the 1 seed. But that's going to do it for this video. Incredible game. Arguably game of the year. Honestly, it is my game of the year so far this season. But that's going to do it for this video. I'll see you all in the next one.